to be going live.
Well, good morning and welcome to Coffee Chat with David and Kylie Knight. That's us.
Hey, good morning. Good to see everybody. Thanks for joining us. Today is Wednesday, May the 6th, 2020.
Yeah, and I see David Hyra is stirring his coffee in anticipation.
Oh, I like that.
Right?
Yes.
That's pretty good. Well, hey, we are glad you guys are here. Is that going to drive you nuts? It's going to drive me nuts.
Yes.
Sorry. We're hearing ourselves in our headphones.
That's really annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not hearing us is not annoying. It's a pleasant joy to hear your voice in my ear.
I don't need it twice, though.
Well, hey, if you're joining us, be sure to like and share. Tell others that you're checking us out. And be sure to use the hashtag Hello Nights. And
hashtag Cup of Awesome.
Like she said. Absolutely. And
no, David Hyra's got coffee. What's everyone else got?
Yeah. And then if you're watching the replay, do hashtag replay. Because that's easy.
Not doing the hashtag
okay,
hash browns.
Hashtag hash browns.
There it is. That's the David I know.
Well, yesterday was Cinco de Mayo. We celebrated with some tacos at home.
For 2 meals.
Oh, that's right. We have it for 2 meals.
We had breakfast tacos,
Yep.
and then we had tacos at night.
Yeah. It's a pretty good
And it was good.
It was good.
Oh, and David's homemade guacamole.
Well, you know, you got to do what you got to do.
So good.
Glad you think so.
Yes.
And then we watched, Three Amigos.
As one does.
That's why we celebrate Cinco de Mayo.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
The Battle of Centopoco.
Such a good movie.
So what did you guys do for Cinco de Mayo, if anything?
Right? That's what I want to know.
Let us know if you have big plans for the day, maybe. I see Marlo's joining us. Good to see you.
Hey, good morning.
It's a pleasure to have you on. We have a really exciting guest today.
Let's get to it.
You just want to get to him?
Yes.
Just jump right in?
I think so. I don't think we can all wait any longer.
I think you're right. Well, so...
Legend.
He is a legend.
Yeah.
We met him first as a youth pastor. And
wow.
I know, right? You remember that? And then he went on to create what I think is one of the most interesting and unique ministries out there.
I agree.
I don't want to take anything away from what he's going to talk about it because he's going to talk about it way better than I can. But
we can tell them what he does.
What does he do?
He is Ninja Warrior, everybody. Ninja Warrior. Putting us to shame with his fitness and all.
He does.
But let's bring him on.
Yeah, he's got fitness and we got fitness in our mouths. So would you guys please welcome our good friend and now yours, Mr. Jared Greer.
Woo-woo!
And there he is.
Hey, what's up, everybody? How y'all doing?
What's up, my friend?
Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Good to be here.
You got your coffee?
Yeah, so I like frappuccinos. So even though I try to be healthy, I have a homemade frappuccino right here. in this wonderful big. It's just full of a frappuccino. So
That's a good.
that is not
That
healthy.
makes us
but
feel better.
it's okay. It makes you feel better.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I'm definitely.
You
human.
are human.
Yeah,
That's right.
Absolutely. Lots of food. I like lots of bad food, so I have to fight that.
Do you
temptation
really?
all the time? Yeah, I
Well, he
like
was a
it.
youth
I have to
pastor,
fight it.
so
That's true.
well,
Wow.
we'll get to that. Hey, real
Yes.
quick, a friend of ours, David Hyra, says ninjas rule.
Yeah, ninjas
true?
do rule, man. We do.
Yeah.
We've got skills. You know, a lot of
And they're
people will hear like,
multiplying.
you do American Ninja Warrior, and they'll think I'll like throw like ninja stars and do like roundhouse kicks, and I don't do any of that really. I just know how to swing around and run up walls and stuff like that.
Well, you don't do it in public, but I bet
That's
at
true.
nighttime.
Yeah, I've got my nunchucks in private, so.
I know. Yeah.
Nunchucks in private.
That's
That
awesome.
needs to be the name of a band.
Nunchucks in private.
Oh, so good.
Hey, April Bell. Good morning, guys. Yes.
Well, let's
Great.
jump right into it, Jared. Tell us your American Ninja story.
Absolutely. So, like you said, I was a youth pastor, and that's what I felt like I was going to be doing my entire life. Maybe transition from being a youth pastor to being, a big boy pastor at some points. But that's, but that's pretty much what I felt called to do, and was pursuing the Lord, and grew up playing sports, and felt like God called me to give up playing sports to go into ministry, and went straight into ministry when I was at East Texas Baptist University, which is on my shirt right there. And while I was there, started ministry. Some of my students eventually were like, "Hey, man, you love sports. Have you seen that show American Ninja Warrior?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's awesome." And this was back in the day, like 2000. I'd say 2010, 2011, back when it was just on like G4 network,
Okay.
the old gaming network, and so that was back then. And they were like, "Dude, you should try to be on the show. That would be so cool." And I was like, "Man, I don't have any idea how you get on a TV show. Like, what are you talking about?" And so then the Lord led me from that group of students to another church. And that next church, the students said the exact same thing. "Dude, you should try to be on American Ninja Warrior." And I thought, this has got to be a sign from God, right? Like, this has to be some sort of direction from these students. So I Googled how you get on the show, and you make like a submission video, a casting video, send it in, show your personality, show your ninja skills, whatever that means, and so I made a video, sent it in, and I was not selected. And I was just like, whatever, I'll just go back to life. I'm married. I have 2 kids. I have a wonderful job. I don't need Ninja Warrior. So I kind of just drank a lot of Frappuccinos and ate a lot of pizza at McDonald's, and gained like 30 pounds and just didn't think about fitness at all. And then a year later, someone from American Ninja Warrior called me, one of the producers, and said, "Hey, man, we got your video last year. It wasn't a very good video." And I was like, "Dude, why are you calling me?" And they were like, "But we like you, and we think you could do really good with this. And so make a new video." And I was like, "That's awesome." And then I hung up the phone, and I was like, "Oh, no. I've gained 30 pounds. What do I do?" So I had to lose some weight, man. And so I actually was like, why do I even want to be on the show? I wanted to use it as a platform to share the love of Jesus. So I wanted to hit some buzzers and tell the world about Jesus. And so I lost 30 pounds in a very short amount of time. Just kind of I would not do it my way. I just didn't eat very much food, and I worked out a lot, but ended up submitting. They picked me to be on the show. I'm like, this is awesome. I'm going to hit the buzzer. I'm going to tell the world about Jesus. And I had never been on such a huge obstacle course, such a crazy thing. And I was nervous, and also just didn't really understand how to prepare for it at that point. This was in 2014. Excuse me. And so I ended up getting on the first obstacle. I beat it, get on the second obstacle, and it was this big giant log. You hug the log and you try to hang on to it. It dropped. And when it dropped, I dropped, and I end up in on the mat, like halfway, and the log swings back and hits me right in my face. And so, oh my gosh, like disaster, embarrassed. They end up showing it on the show. 5 million people watching, like everybody got to see. So yeah, so that was the
You
start
became
of it. And I thought,
famous.
yeah, I got to have my 5 seconds of fame. You know, it wasn't even 15 seconds. It was like 5 seconds of fame, and it was not the kind of fame you want. You know, it's like the type of fame when you come out of the bathroom with toilet paper on your shoe. You know, like that type of. So at the end of the day, though, God used it for good. Like some people who run a church camp said, "Hey, we know you wanted to be on the show to do good things, and so why don't you come to our camp and bring an obstacle course and tell kids about Jesus and be our late night entertainment?" I get to follow in David and Kylie Knight's shoes of being late night entertainment, right? and so they end up asking me to do that, and I did not own an obstacle course. I had no idea how to do late night entertainment. I had just seen people do it. No preparation at all. Like it, and so I got on my dad. We went to a Whataburger. We wrote down some ideas, and the rest is history, right? Like we had a blast. I didn't fall in front of the kids. I hit the buzzer, the imaginary buzzer on top of the wall, and told kids about Jesus. And so now I've been on the show 3 times, and now I've fallen on the 2nd, the 3rd, and the 4th obstacle. And so just kind of progressively getting a little better.
Eventually you get all the way through.
It's created. Exactly. My son said, like, "Hey, Dad, how many obstacles are there?" Whole season. I was like, 25, 26, 27. He was like, whole show. But I just tried to keep getting better. 28 came alive in my life. God works all things together for good for those who love God and called according to his purpose. So even though I fell, God used failure to lead to an opportunity to proclaim the gospel. And so now we've seen 1,500 give their life to Christ, and it's just my full-time ministry now. So 1,500 people have been saved, and so that's what it's all.
Woo!
Yes.
Yeah.
We love
Love
that.
it.
Hey, we need some hearts and thumbs up for that, guys.
Absolutely.
That's why we do this, right? What it's all about.
Yeah.
Yes. I love David Hires' comment. That's using your head.
Oh, he also said youth pastors need ninja skills.
That's true.
Youth pastors need absolutely. I've seen one like that shirt.
Real
It's like
ninja
about
skills
youth
just to
pastors. It's
survive.
got all their ninja skills, you know.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Oh, look at all those hearts and thumbs up.
Love it.
Woohoo!
Very
Love it.
cool.
Oh yeah, Brian Weatherford says, "What a great ministry."
Yes.
Yeah, Brian, you should have him on your show.
Oh, yeah.
Brian does a really cool show out in Arlington on a internet TV station.
Oh,
We
cool.
should hook you guys up. Yeah, really great guy.
Sweet.
Big heart for God too. He's gonna be on our show tomorrow.
Uh-huh.
Oh, awesome. Hey-o.
And then Marlo says, "Incredible testament of listening to God and saying yes."
Absolutely. Cool.
Very, very cool.
So now you're doing this full time.
Yeah.
You're traveling around. You tell us a little bit more about your ministry and how you've had to adapt during this period.
Yeah, absolutely. Just like y'all, you know, like this is what we do. We travel. We, you know, put on huge events. We love live crowds. We get excited about lots of people, and that doesn't happen right now, right? And so totally shut down, and which made me really, at first, just in my flesh, made me really nervous. How's this going to work? But God has provided, which first off, that's what I want to just testify, that God has provided through our donor team, through just all sorts of avenues that I did not expect. And so praise God for that. But aside from just the provision, ministry has continued, you know, like being able to continue to share the gospel. I had wanted to make a new Christian series for about a year. I've wanted to produce this new Christian series on YouTube. And you know, it didn't have time, or I didn't make time to prioritize it. And so the moment that this happened, I thought, man, I can't travel. Let's make this series. And so now we've made 6 videos on my YouTube channel just under my name, Jared Greer, and just sharing with new Christians how to take those next steps. And that's been a lot of fun to make. But then also reached out to youth pastors and just said, hey, if y'all need a break from making and editing videos, just let me know, because I know that's got to get old, and so I've done some Facebook Live, some Zoom with youth groups, from anywhere from like small groups of 3 to some bigger, preaching Facebook Live type stuff. And so that's been a lot of fun. And just seeing God use that. I have not seen anyone accept Christ, but I know so many seeds have been planted. And that just makes me so excited just to be doing this in a virtual way, to seeing sometimes some of the views are just so much higher than it would have been live, So it's really cool.
That's awesome.
Because generally you bring a whole setup to the church, right?
Yeah. So it's huge. It's like a huge process. Like I have a 40-foot gooseneck trailer. I pull up it's like American Ninja Warrior shows up at your church. And so I partner, I have a few guys on my team that have also been on the show that will travel with me and help me build. But we partner with the volunteers of the church and we build it. So this has totally shut down that whole process of getting to do that. Yeah. So I have some stuff at my house, and I shot some stuff on that course for a youth group the other day, which was pretty cool. I did one on overcoming the devil, and I have one obstacle called the devil steps. And so it was a pretty cool objects lesson. It was pretty neat.
Oh, that's very cool.
I love it.
We have a mutual friend who's popping on saying, Justin Coffee,
Justin!
saying, hey guys, thank you for what y'all do. Praying for you guys. Keep going strong for the kingdom.
Justin is awesome, man. Praying for your daughter. I know she had a little accident last night, so praying for her. No. She got a little boo-boo, but I think she's doing better. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you have a pretty big team, right? Like you have several groups that go out under kind of your banner.
Yeah. So it kind of
good.
It's just been awesome to watch God work to multiply it a little bit. So primarily we have 2 courses, a main course which can be indoor or outdoor. And so usually when I travel, I'll bring at least one guy with me. But then I have another course called the outdoor course, only outdoor, and so sometimes we'll be in 2 places at once. And so my team is me, a guy named James Gross, Kendall Ortez, and Nathan Burkhalter. All of us have been on the show. We've all met through that, and we all love Jesus. And Nathan and James also are speakers. Kendall's really good at facilitating obstacles, and Nathan Burkhalter made it really, really far on the show. He's like a 5-time Vegas finalist. We've got a really cool team, and so they all have their own full-time jobs, but they partner with us part-time any time that it makes sense. We just kind of discern, who fits which events, and it's been a really cool partnership.
I love that.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, and you mentioned that you're sitting at home drinking your frappuccinos.
Which I love.
Which I love too. But you also, you look incredibly fit, which you always do.
Yeah.
And we talked a little bit
right
before
back
you mentioned.
Y'all look good.
We're illusionists. Just remember that.
It's not real.
It's not real.
That's so good.
But what kind of tips do you have for people to kind of stay healthy as we're quarantined, sheltering at home during this pandemic and that whole thing?
Yeah,
some other people might want to know.
Yeah, the temptation is to make a lot of these and to bake a lot of cookies and just I think a lot of people cope with stress and cope with anxiety. A lot of people cope with it by eating, right? I think that's what a lot of people's go-to stress reliever is to eat. And so I think first off to identify the purpose of food. Food is fuel, and so that's a little mantra that has changed my life, that I eat so I can be fueled to use my body as a temple of the Holy Spirit to accomplish kingdom purposes. And so while I enjoy food, while I think I think God gave us food as something to enjoy, even while we enjoy it, we can be worshiping Him. That needs to be done with balance. And so I think it's really important to see food for what it is and to not see it as a drug to make us feel better. And so I think during quarantine, it's really important to remember the purpose of food, but also to know your why. Why do you want to get healthy? I see it just like I said, we're a temple of the Holy Spirit. But then also I think that our families are important and worth keeping our bodies healthy for, and living a long life for. And so I think keeping those motives like fresh in our mind, I think it's really important to like remember your motive, to go act upon what you want to do, and then refresh. Rinse, repeat, refresh, like consistent remembering why you do this. And so during quarantine, what I do all the time is I track my food on my MyFitnessPal on my phone. MyFitnessPal is an app I use, and I track my food. I've tracked my food for like a full year. Sometimes I'll take breaks for about 6 weeks and then get back at it. But I track my food because I know that if I don't track it, I'm gonna eat this every meal of the day, and it's gonna be terrible. So because I just love food, so I track my food, and then also I have some goals. Like I personally run 10 miles a week. I do lots of stuff, but I'm trying to be a pro athlete, right? So I have like these big goals. So I'd say people should just kind of set these attainable goals of going on a walk every night after dinner. Like we play a lot of basketball as a family, and so me and my sons, like that's a fun way to stay active. And my wife hates getting like active and doing sports, but she'll even join in on playing knockout with us. So yeah, I think just doing stuff together and just remembering why you want to stay active is important right now.
That's fantastic.
The
Good
why.
stuff.
I like that.
Yeah. A lot of what he was talking about reminds me of, I've had this kind of theory that she keeps telling me I need to put into a book.
Do it.
This idea of
See, Ninja Warrior told you to.
Do it.
I definitely don't want to make him mad.
No.
Like a ninja.
But the idea is that we need to have a holistic holiness, and that all the elements of our lives need to be kind of directed towards God and His purposes. And
Absolutely.
a big part of that is absolutely looking at our bodies as a temple. I love the idea of food as fuel. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Let's see, real quick. Justin did want to let you know that his daughter is doing better.
Yeah.
God is
Praise
watching
God.
over her.
Praise the Lord.
Fantastic. Thanks for the update, Justin.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
man.
we're getting lots of positive comments about you. April Bell says, love the positivity and motivation.
You can do it, April. You got it.
Yeah. Woo.
Well, and that's the thing is even as much positivity and motivation as you're getting through the screen from Jared, in person, it's so much more. So if you're out there and you're in a church or a ministry and you're looking for something to really motivate, all ages really,
Yeah.
look up Jared. He's a fantastic guy.
Amazing. And we've been trying to be somewhat active, going on walks.
Yeah, somewhat.
Hey, good.
It's something.
That's good. Yeah.
We did do it yesterday,
Anything.
right?
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even doing projects together, anything. But I think just doing something where you're active is good, and especially as a family. I mean, as a couple, as a family, I think that's so important.
Yeah.
Yeah. We used to do Camp Gladiator.
Hey, that's good.
Yeah, we did that for a couple of years. And yeah.
We had to stop, obviously, first of all, we were traveling,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
the pandemic hit, and it's like, we'll get back to it. And now we're on the second floor of an apartment, so doing like Zoom workouts is a little mean to our downstairs neighbors.
Hey, that should just motivate them to get active too.
There you
People
go.
below.
Come join us.
That's right.
Join us right now.
I love it.
Cool.
Is it the next one?
Oh, okay. So what do you feel are the benefits we might see from this pandemic?
Oh my gosh. While this is terrible, this has been terrible. So many people have lost lives. So many people have been affected financially.
Yeah.
The worst thing, probably one of the worst things that's happened in 100 years, right? Like one of the worst things. But the silver lining is I could have a whole talk show for hours on this question, right? Like there's so many good things that are coming from this. I would say first and foremost, people are looking to God. I think there are a lot of people that are saying, why did this happen? This is terrible. Life is out of control. So I'm going to look to God and trust that He's in control. And so hopefully we're seeing people receive Christ. We're seeing people grow in their relationship with God. But then also, I would say families worshiping together in their homes. like how special is that? Like
Mm.
one of the things when I was working as a student pastor is really trying to help families develop time in their home where they spend time together with their kids as a couple, growing in their walk with God. So now people are gathered around their phones, gathered around their screens, watching pastors having spiritual experiences and conversations in their homes. And so that's just incredible to me. And I hope that that habit sticks after quarantine. I hope that that's something that can just continue. That's just beautiful to me, knowing that people are singing songs of worship in their home during this. Is just really, really, really cool. But then I know I need to, wrap it up, but families hanging out and playing together. Like my sons, like they're always really close. They're 3 years apart, but they're really close. That they have played together so much, and it's just been so cool. And then also us playing with them, like spending time. Like usually I'll be gone for 3 or 4 days out of the week, but now just getting to be home more often and just having so much quality time. It's just been awesome. We're in the middle of building a house, and so in the middle of that, like I've had time to work with my spouse and like hands-on, like putting sheetrock on the house. And so just all this connection time, like I think that's been really, really, really good. And so I think people, hopefully during this, the benefit is that people are getting closer and slowing down, and that some of these habits we form and spiritual disciplines we form right now, we can take with us post-quarantine.
So good. So
Nice.
good. Yeah, I was watching the development of them building the house. That's one of the reasons it took us so long to get you on, is you were so busy with that.
Sheetrocking,
It's a
man.
big project.
Crazy.
Huge. Good though. Look good.
Especially when you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, that's right. I've had a couple of great comments coming in. A lot of people are saying that you're awesome, which you absolutely are.
They are right.
Marlo says, definitely hands down amazing to worship with my family at home. We're so much closer in this season.
Yeah.
So true.
Kelly, do you have any comment?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Kelly Curry, also a good friend.
Kelly.
Yes.
Cool to see all of you at once. Blessing to all.
Hey, good to see you. Well, can't really see you, but
It's good to be seen.
Yeah.
Well,
good to be seen.
You have given some great answers to some deep questions, I think.
Yeah, it's been great.
So now we're going to move into something a little lighter that we call 5 questions. Oh, except for my button. There it goes.
All right.
5 questions.
Trying to tell me to stop rambling on, right? Like
No,
No, this has been good.
I could talk to you all day long.
I'm just joking.
All right.
All right, first question. What are you binge watching right now?
I am binge watching the Michael Jordan Last Dance.
Is it good?
Oh my gosh, yes. Like,
Yeah.
well, first off, I'm a huge sports fan. Grew up in the 90s, so Michael Jordan was king to me. I don't know how many times I pretended to be Michael Jordan, and so this is so much fun. Now, I watched the first episode, and I didn't expect it to be kind of as mature as it was, and so it kind of had some language and stuff. So there is a version that's kind of beeped out and stuff. So that so I haven't enjoyed that side of it, but it has been really cool to watch kind of some of the backstory of probably the best team in the history of the National Basketball Association. So,
Amen. So is he the GOAT?
he is the GOAT, no doubt. LeBron is definitely not. No offense to LeBron fans, but I'm a Jordan all the way. And then I'm planning to start watching The Chosen. I've heard so many good things about that. Have y'all watched that?
No.
Have you heard about it?
The Chosen? I haven't.
No.
Yeah, it's about Jesus, and I think it's like when he's choosing his disciples, and it's like a backstory, almost kind of showing like it's not necessarily based on exact biblical history, but it's kind of showing maybe what it was like for them to be picked by Jesus and their personalities and Jesus's personality and some of that interaction. It looks really cool. I've heard great things.
What's that on?
I think you can even watch it on YouTube without having like YouTube TV or whatever. It's a huge project. I heard they put like $15 million into it. So
wow.
I heard it was really well done.
We'll have to
Awesome.
check that out.
The Chosen. Check it out.
Got it. Okay, if you could have any other job than the one you have right now, what would it be?
I mean, I feel like my job is the coolest in the history of the world.
And
But
it's
my
true.
second, but I think I would just want to be Michael Jordan. I think that I would want to be like I would want to fly through the air and dunk with my tongue out. I think I'd want to be a basketball player.
I like it.
Okay.
Good answer.
Cool. And what is your favorite to-go order?
Starbucks Frappuccino, mocha, venti mocha Frappuccino with almond milk and a shot of espresso is my go-to. And then if I'm getting Mexican food, I will usually get quesadillas. And we've got a place in Cleburne, which is about 30 minutes from here, that I'll get Barreras. And oh my gosh, their salsa is good. Yeah.
Oh. I think we need to take a trip.
So good.
Everybody hungry? Is it time?
Yes.
Yes.
It's time.
Yeah.
It's lunchtime
Cinco de
somewhere.
Mayo dos.
Oh, I
Cinco de
like that.
Mayo. Yeah, I like it.
All right. What are you reading right now?
As cliche as it is, I'm just reading the Bible right now. I have not got into other book reading right now. I've really, especially this first half of this year, was slammed. I already put on, I think, 12 events before quarantine. So really hadn't been on. Oh, Marlo is a barista. That's awesome.
Yes.
Really haven't been diving into anything different at the moment. I'll usually, once I get into something, I am all in. But as far as Bible reading, oh my gosh, our church did this quarantine study where we had people reading from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. All day long, the entire stay-at-home shelter. And so someone would read from 10 to 10:30, and then they text the next person, hey, I've left off at Genesis 15, read from 10:30 to 11, and that train would go all day. And so I had the 10:30 to 11 slot. It was so good just to read 30 minutes like that and to read random
That's
parts of the
awesome.
Bible. Like, I feel like I got like a full picture of the Bible doing it, So it was really, really cool.
I love that.
That's really good. All right, where do I go from there? I guess the next question. All right, they decide to make a movie of your life. Who plays
All
you?
right.
Michael
I
Jordan.
love the answer to this because people come up to me at my events and they'll say, hey, you look like a smaller Thor. and
Smaller
so
Thor.
Chris Hemsworth will be my actor. Yeah, like that would be my dude. So I take, I'm like, hey, I know that I'm smaller, but at least I look like Thor. That would be pretty cool. So
Wow.
You watched a movie the other night just because he was in it, so.
oh.
Can't deny that.
So let me tell you this: we're about to get chickens, and my wife told someone who won one of our trivia nights they could name one of our chickens, and they said Chris Hemsworth instead of Chris Hemsworth.
That's so good. That's so good.
Like it.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, man, this has been a joy hanging out with you.
Y'all too.
If
We got to do this like more often outside of Zoom. We need to hang out. So
I agree.
Yes.
I agree.
yeah.
If people want to learn more about what you're doing, what your ministry's doing, how they can support you, where should they go?
Yeah, so the most consistent thing is going to be my social media, Facebook, Jared Greer, Instagram, Jared G4 Christ, the number 4. And then my website is obstacleministry.com. And that's a place that you can kind of see what we're all about. And then as far as supporting us, just pray for us. Of course, donations are always helpful. Like we have some consistent monthly givers, which has been really, really helpful in this time. And then sometimes we have certain things like we try to buy a new trailer. It's, different obstacle stuff. And so sometimes we make that known to the public through social media. And so that's been something that people can help us out with, but just praying for us and following us and then sharing what we do, because we want opportunities to share the gospel just like you guys. And so just being friends and being, in relationship. I just really believe in relational ministry. And so, so I just want to connect with people. And as we connect with people, we can share Jesus.
Amen.
Fantastic.
I love it. Well, Jared, thanks for your time today. And yeah, we'll catch up off Zoom some other time.
Yeah.
We'll have a
Thank y'all for
frappuccino
letting me
together.
hang out. Yes,
You bet.
absolutely.
We'll talk soon.
Bye.
All right. Bye.
Well, I told you guys would love him. He is fantastic. We've been so blessed to know him through the years. And tomorrow we have another really cool guy that you're going to like, Brian Weatherford. He has a great show called All In that he brought us on last year, I guess. And
Last year,
he
the year
just mentioned
before?
that he'd be interested in getting Jared on. So
He should get Jared
I think
on.
that would
That'd
be
be
a great
great.
connection. So join us tomorrow for that.
Brian, meet Jared. Jared, meet Brian.
That's right.
Friends, good.
Yeah. And thank you guys for hanging out with us today. And we will see you again tomorrow at 10.
Yeah, back again tomorrow with Brian.
Take care, guys. Bye.
Bye.